Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Parvisha and we're going to be reviewing the Kraft Sketchpad by Scholar. Now, these come in varied sizes, right from A4, A5, A3 in vinyl bound and in loose sheets. So you can go for any of them of your choice, whatever you prefer working with. Now, coming to the other details of the pad, there, as mentioned on the sketch pad, it's great for charcoal, for pastels, for colored pencils and glitter and opaque pens, or even your white gel pens. But I've tried a few more mediums and we're going to take a look at that in just a minute. Now, this is a 170 GSM sketch pad, comes with 40 sheets, vinyl bound, that I will be reviewing today. These are acid free as well, and which means that your paintings are going to stay longer with you without deteriorating. Right now, even though this has 170 GSM thickness, because it's a much bulkier paper, Kraft is a much bulkier paper, the paper takes to a lot more layers and a lot more beating than your regular 170 GSM sketch pads. So let's get started. Now, here is the first sheet where I have tested different mediums, right from charcoal, ink, watercolor, gouache, oil pastels, regular graphite pencils, color pencils, and also I have tried water soluble color pencils and given it a wash with water. Apart from that, I have also tried the metallic and color shifters, which are basically watercolors, and just to see how the colors show up on the Kraft sketchpad. This is my test sheet where usually before I work on any painting, I see how the colors look on Kraft, because the tone is much warmer, and you want to make sure that you're working with the right shades and the right tones. So you'll see a lot of other swatches on this sheet as well, apart from just my testing the other mediums. I've also tested colors before going in for the final paintings. Now, because usually color shifters show differently. So let's hop on now to the artworks that I've done on this paper. And I didn't want to waste any sheets because I love the Kraft. So, I started off the artwork on the very first page of this sketchbook. Usually I leave the first page, but here you go. Now, this is with the metallic paints, and I absolutely love how it looks on Kraft. I've used all earthy tones, and you can see that, even though I've used a thick layer of paint, there is no warping, and the thickness of paper is amazing. Now, for the inside border, you can see that, I've got a thin line of the same metallic shade. For this, I've used like a liner brush, and I've faced absolutely no resistance whatsoever when I was working with, such thin lines on the Kraft, even though it's a fibrous paper. Now, on to the next one. This is a fish scale that I created again with gold metallic watercolor paints, and I've used color pencils to just add a little depth to the shading. Now, the next is again a floral that I've done. Now, I started off on this paper with a lot of floral work, and once I got going, there was no looking back, because I absolutely loved how the flowers looked on this paper. They look absolutely stunning. It stands out, but yet looks sober because of the nice earthy tone of the Kraft sheet, and the color pencils blend extremely well. If you want to save your color pencils, you can always go in with a layer of watercolor on this, and it kind of works equally well. It doesn't warp the paper. The watercolors stay really, really well on this paper as well. So I have gone ahead and kind of circled using gold metallic just to kind of add a little uniformity with all my floral series. And here's another daffodil with the same color pencil. I've used watercolor pencils for this with a gold metallic border. Now, on to the next one, the forget-me-nots. Now, I'm going to get this a little closer so you can see that, I could go in with a lot of detailing as well. Even though the paper is a little fibrous, it allows for a lot of detailing work without any resistance or without any issues. Now, this, I'm not very proud of this because I was trying to work on a rose project, and I'm not very fond of roses, and I was trying the chrome watercolor paints on this, but not too happy. But yes, they work brilliantly. Now, the next rose project was I used just a little of color pencils at the back for the flowers, and I've used gel pen for the main flowers, and I've kind of used a blending stump to blend it out and get it lighter, and it works like a charm without any concerns. Now here is the final one that I was actually happy with and went ahead and posted on Instagram. The rose, I think this was for Valentine's that we did a collaborative post with a couple of my friends. Now I've also added a little shadow in the background to add a little depth to the rose painting. Now the next one is the jasmine. I've used only color pencils for the stems. Everything else I have created with a white gel pen and blended out with a blending stump. I've also used a little metallic paint for the center of the flowers. Now moving on to the next one, this is a lilac floral painting where I've used metallic watercolors for the base of the flower. So you're just going to see there, if I tilt the paper, you can see the sheen. Now even for the leaves, I've put a metallic base and then gone in with color pencils for details, and you can see that the paper hasn't torn, the fibers haven't come out, and they have stayed perfect. Now on to the next one. This one I wanted to try the color shifters, all the color shifters that I have, to be honest, and I wanted to see how they looked in a Moroccan pattern. I'm going to tilt the page so you can see the different shades, and they work absolutely well, no issues at all. On the Kraft page, I thought maybe, the shifters may not work as well as they do. Usually the black paper a black base is the best for shifters, but these worked well. Now don't mind this sheet, this is just like some practice. Now coming to soft pastels, I've created this beach show wave with soft pastels, and I'm going to show you the other side. There's hardly been any transfer, and I haven't fixed this painting. So, if you work with soft pastels, they constantly need fixative to keep them in place. But with Kraft, there's minimal transfer onto the other side. There's hardly any smudging. So if you're looking for a paper for your soft pastels, this one would be it. You definitely want to get your hands on the Kraft. It works beautifully. Now here's another small little cherry blossom that I've done with color pencils, and I've used white gel pen just for the center of the flower. Here's another soft pastel work. I was missing my blue, so I thought, why not? Now this is just a rough one, I haven't posted, and I showed you the other side. There's absolutely been no transfer onto the other side of the paper. Again, for even this piece, the painting has stayed intact, and I think this has probably been over a year since I've painted, and you can see there's been no issues whatsoever. Now for the border, I would recommend you using a washi tape. The masking tape sometimes tends to pull the fiber out, but washi tape works beautifully on the Kraft paper and gives you a clean, nice, crisp border like you can see for this seascape that I've done. Now moving on to the next. These are calla lilies that I actually did for a couple of workshops and a personal class. So the original is actually not with me anymore, but some of them really liked the calla lilies and requested to kind of learn, so I had to do them again. Here's one of my most feared florals, the Hydrangea. This took me forever. I've done the base with watercolors. So I've used like a mid-tone for the base at the back, and then gone in with color pencils for the detailing, and I've done the same for the leaf as well, and a gold border just to complete the series. Now I went in with quite a bit of watercolor for this one, guys, and there's been no warping. I'm going to show you the back of the sheet just in a second. There you go, and there is absolutely nothing. There's no transfer, there's no bleed, there's absolutely nothing on the other side. The watercolors have stayed vibrant, the greens have stayed the same, I've had absolutely no concerns with the color fading on this paper either. Now moving on to the next. This is just a test piece, never mind. Now this is oil pastels, and let me tell you this, I fell in love with how oil pastels worked on this paper. It works like a charm. The oil pastels stick so beautifully. You can layer, you can blend, just use a cotton bud and you're sorted. This one, I actually didn't use any blending tools at all, and I could still blend just using the soft pastels, layering them, and worked absolutely fine without any concerns. Now this one, never mind, it's a work in progress. I still have to kind of complete it with some color pencils on the door and a little more detailing on the bougainvillea at the back, but hopefully I will get to it sometime soon. Let's see. But again, this is just to show you that mixed media works really well on this paper. On to the last artwork for now. This is an anthurium which I absolutely love. Mine don't grow at home. For some reason, they just don't flower. The leaves keep coming, but they don't flower. So I thought, why not make an anthurium artwork just as a dedication to the flower or the plant that I have at home. Now this, I've worked with a red watercolor base and gone in with color pencils on top. There's been no issues of working with multiple layers. The whites pop beautifully well. I do still have a few sheets left, and I'm still thinking of my next work that I'd like to do on this paper, but options are endless, guys. So go get your hands on the Kraft sketchpad. This is probably something you won't regret. Now also, if you have any mediums that I haven't managed to cover yet in the review, let me know in the comments section below, and I'd be more than happy to do a follow-up review on the Kraft for you with the requested product. Otherwise, that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know if you still have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such reviews of products. Bye for now. Take care.